Good morning, and welcome to the Real Prosperity Project. I'm Tanisha Tearing, and this is
Charlene Reedman, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you guys are all from. So grateful to be back with Miss Tanisha in the great frozen northern BC, Canada.
and man, did we ever wake up to frozen. Well, it's actually not too cold. It's only -2 here, but we got a foot of snow overnight, and it is still coming down pretty hard. We have drive warnings all over Facebook and our discussion boards here up here, and yeah, it's a crazy, crazy white north today.
Yeah, we definitely need the snow though, so I'm not really complaining because farmers need it. We need it for a dugout. And of course, you need it for McBride because you guys are a very winter tourist attraction, are you not?
We are, yeah. There's actually less and less sledders here this year because they actually closed one of our main um, snowmobiling mountains due to a bridge being unstable, and instead of fixing it, they just closed it. So we're actually feeling the pressure of that this year. There's not as much tourism, but we do have our cross country skiing up and going, and we have other things. It's gorgeous here, so hopefully now that we have some snow, we'll attract some more.
Yeah, and in our community, we do have an actual ski hill. By any means, it's nothing amazing, but we still have it. And then plus the cross country skiing, we have a ton of sledders here. We have a ton of outback country the sledders love. But I don't know that we attract a lot of people to go sledding. Maybe out in the Tumbler Ridge and Powder King areas for sure, but not specific to Dawson Creek. I find that most Dawson Creekers head down to Revelstoke to go skiing.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
which is about
I've
as
actually wanted to ski Powder King. I should come up and visit you, and my family should go ski Powder King.
well. You guys can ski. I will hold the lounge down. I
Oh, you don't like propelling yourself downhill and
no,
slippery?
I no, I've never been a skier. When I used to send my kids, they have a Powder King bus, so they would pick. You can get on the bus for like $50, and it takes you to Powder King. So that's how my
Mm,
kids went skiing, and I didn't have to risk my life.
fair enough. Fair enough. Do they still have that option? Because I would way rather hop on a bus than drive myself.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was awesome. And my cross country experience is back in school, high school. We're cross country, and I have an injury still to this day from cross country skiing. I have a big scar on my leg from falling down. So, yeah, anything that has the word ski in it, I'm just like, I'm out.
You're like, no way.
No, even getting on those T bars is a challenge because I'm like a little kid because I'm not very tall, so it's hard to get up on those T
Mm,
bars,
yeah.
let alone jump off again. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, the dismount off of the lifts is always the most challenging for sure.
Yeah.
Especially when people in the chair in front of you have fallen. Now you have to try to ski around them so that you don't hit them and fall yourself. Yeah, it's always great entertaining time. I actually took my youngest up 2 years ago, and he was 5, and he did so good. He'd never skied before, and he was just a little natural. He just zoomed down the hill, and I'm like, pizza, pizza, because he's going too fast, and I'm like, do your pizza.
I remember doing that with Braden. We lived in Peace River at the time, and he probably was 4 or 5. But just they have no fear. And then
Zero.
we finally had to run after him to like get him to quit going on the T bar to actually it was time to go home. But yeah, he same just like Jackson, just no fear and
Just straight down.
straight down. Yeah, as fast as they can go to get to the T bar to get back up to the top.
Well, we went up the big lift, like the chairlift with him. He did the T-bar twice and then he was bored. So we had to go up like all the way to the top of the mountain. And he was just insane. And then there was a 90-degree turn, where like it's like a full bend. And he's just looks like he's gonna go straight off this bend. I'm like,
Oh
because
yeah.
I'm scared, so I'm going slower way behind him. And he goes and he carves it perfectly. And then I come around the corner and here he is. And he's just going. And I'm like, wow. So, yeah, he's a
Yeah.
natural skier.
Yeah. Now my kids, well, they were big into the snowboard.
Yes. No, I think I'll forever be a two-plank wank for sure.
Yeah. And then again, their mom, well, she can hold down any lounge. No problems.
As long as you got a plate of fries and some kind of bevy, it's a good day in your fire.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh. So Tanisha, what are we going to talk about today? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in our Canada.
Da-da-da-da. The
Like,
Great White North. We'll go there. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I mean there's so many things we could be talking about. I mean, it's crazy up here. It's crazy in the US too. I mean, there's so many things for so many topics, but I do want to steer clear of politics because let's face it,
I
that's a
know.
hot
Like
subject.
we could be here forever. You know.
We could be here forever. I mean, no matter what side of the fence you're on, whether you like it or you don't like it, it's causing and wreaking havoc in both countries, and it's wreaking havoc in different areas of life.
Yeah, but I feel like a little bit of open dialogue about some of what's happening in Canada with businesses. Like in Quebec, Amazon just closed a warehouse. That's 1,700 people losing a job.
Hmm.
Um, there was Rick is a women's wear. Ricky's bootlegger I heard is closing, and there was
Yeah,
another one,
Bootlegger is closing.
and there's another one I'm not too familiar with. Um, MLM, which is Epicure, just closed. Epicure's been around forever.
Yeah. You know what? This is just the face of tragedy. And this actually, I believe, has a lot to do with that's what I was saying is the politics flooding into every other aspect of life. Is it's really, it's, I'm sad and I'm devastated for the people that relied on these jobs to support their families because now they're out of job. They have no way to control their income. And the stability of the job market is already so hard to get into because like let's face it, when you go to look for a job, no one's hiring.
No, and then the other one that well, at first they said they're closing their Ontario stores as PV Mart. Now, if nobody's ever been to a PV Mart, oh my gosh. PV Mart is a farmer store that has everything. Like from your farm supplies to kids' toys to furniture, like more farmy kind of country style furniture. Um, yeah, like PV Mart has been kicking around for I think it's 60 years, and they're closing all of Canadian stores, which is going to be a huge impact to the farming community because that's where we get our fence posts and our horse feed and just our livestock panels and just everything, like all your fancy materials. And then like I say, you can go Christmas shopping there, you can get tools and clothes and rubber boots. Like where are we going to buy our rubber boots now? Like that's huge, rubber boots, when you live in the north when springtime comes. So yeah, it's devastating. It's affecting all communities all across Canada.
Yeah. Yeah. And for our listeners that are listening today, let us know in the comments how any of these closures has affected you or your families or anyone you know. Let us know what's going on in your communities, what's closing in your communities. Because I know up in Prince George here, I seen Bootlegger is clearance, it's closing. I have a couple of friends who have dedicated years to Epicure. They have amazing entrepreneurial spirit and they have, built their businesses to create that passive income, that really great aspect of the MLM system. And they have now just been devastated. All their hard work is gone, and they have to either start all over again or find something different, and it's devastating to them. So let us know how it's impacting you or the people because there's many different areas that are closing, and we'd love to hear from you and support you.
Yeah, 100%. Like just in our community, Tanisha and my daughter has a pet supply store and she's just moving locations, which ironically enough is pretty much right beside our PV Mart. So she put out a question on Facebook yesterday of, hey, this is so sad that we're losing this amazing store that we all rely on. You know, maybe she can bring in some options for people in Dawson Creek and surrounding areas. Things like Kaylee went there for like pig feed. People go there for goat feed. We do have another store in town, the Co-op, which is great. So we have a couple options, but losing PV Mart, like maybe she can bring in a specific brand of horse feed for people that maybe the Co-op doesn't carry and the PV Mart was carrying. So, on a sad day of closure, we still have the small business that can possibly still provide some of the things to our community. I don't know. So she just posed
Mm.
that question, with
Yeah. You know what? That's a great way to look at things is that positive outlook too, because yes, these big chains are closing. Yes, these big companies are closing their doors, but it does make room for smaller businesses like your daughters. It does, and I'll just give a shout out. It's Ricky's Pets. If you live in Houston and you're listening to this, go support her. She's amazing. She really cares about her customers, and she does great things. Um, but yeah, it does open that door for her to provide more services to the community so that they can have that one-on-one connection with a
yeah.
small business owner that you don't have in the big box stores. So, I mean, that is a really good positive. And talking about those positives with people that have been in Epicure and other MLMs that have shut their doors, um, that is another positive is maybe they can find an opportunity with another company that has more job security, um, like ours, right? Where there's always going to be a need for financial education and they can put their talents to a great use and really help people in a different way, not just in their health and their nutrition. So there is positives that come out of it too.
That made me think of something because, MLM, some people like them, some people don't like them. And that's totally fine. Everybody has their own opinion. But direct sales is basically, it's like, it's like having a mom and pop shop, but it's just, people are doing it from their home and the companies are usually providing better products, and there's room for growth and the team. But where was I going with this? Um, but the biggest issue I find with the MLMs, unfortunately, it's just how their system is built, is quite often you need to spend the money to maintain your promotion. So if you don't do so many in sales, you're bumped out of that promotion. So what happens as that person, you end up like, oh, hey, Tanisha, you just need $200 more in sales. So instead of going out and pounding the pavement to sell $200 more, you end up purchasing $200. And now you have a garage full of stuff,
Yeah.
right? And where with us, with our financial services, once you're promoted, you don't have to maintain a certain amount of quota to maintain that promotion, which is amazing. So I have one agent who actually let her license lapse for a couple of years. And then when she decided to come back on board, she was still at her same promotion level, even though she was gone for 2 years. How cool is that?
Isn't that incredible? And that's a huge difference. And I definitely looked at that when I decided to get my education and become an agent and a broker, is I had experience in health and beauty, health and wellness, right? Um, as an MLM structure, and that was the biggest downside, was that promotion guideline was monthly, and you had to keep up your sales to a certain level in order to maintain even getting commission. So I had to purchase in order to get commission, which, like you said, had a garage full of stuff. And you're right, with this brokerage, it's a lot different. We do imply some of that direct sales that the MLM structure has, which is a bonus, so you don't have to, but we have that clear guideline where there's no quotas, there's no ceiling, there's no, right? There's no cold calling or door knocking. It's just a great business model. And that's one of the biggest aspects I looked at. And I wish that more companies would um, take a look at the structure and imply it in their own, because maybe they wouldn't have to close doors.
Well, when you look at a just distribution company, and you can look at this like a mortgage broker, even like we don't have any inventory. So, like a mortgage
Exactly.
broker, they get to go out and distribute mortgages from many different financial firms. So they're shopping the
Hmm.
market, and that's what we get to do. We're a financial distribution company because when I think about this, those companies that we represent, they don't need to pay us a salary or build an office up in Dawson Creek for us. So they can effectively, by us being their broker, that lowers their costs because we go out, we shop the market, we take care of the clients. So our clients aren't getting a 1-800 number, they're getting us directly.
Hmm.
And I find a lot of people, they they either like that model or they don't like that model. It's so weird, and I don't know why you wouldn't like that model. Why wouldn't you want somebody to go out and shop the market for you that has access to all these different ideas? Like
Hmm.
it's brilliant. So when we walk into the bank, they're not going to go down to the other bank and say, "Hey, I got Tanisha here, and we're looking for a mortgage." So we thought we'd, compare your mortgage to our mortgage to see what we can do best for Tanisha
Yeah, they don't do that.
ever, right? So, yeah, the financial industry is a broken industry. And that I think too, people don't like change because we're taught art by our parents, and then we teach our kids, and then blah, 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 right?
Hmm.
But yeah, it's, even if you look at Kaylee's store, I'm going to use her for an example. She's a distributor as well because she's distributing dog food for other companies.
Hmm.
So, but because you walk into a physical building, I guess people feel a little bit more comfortable with that. And I have another thought. Oh man, I'm getting to that age where I'm like, why am I here? Oh, okay. I'll come back to it once it registers again.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and so like I'm really sad for the people that have lost their job, and they, they don't have any direction. But this also may be a positive, because maybe they were stuck in something like a 9 to 5 at, I'm just gonna say PV Mart, 'cause we've been talking about it lots, right? But they
Yeah.
had more talent. They had more to give the world, more gifts. And now they get the opportunity to look for something where they can put those gifts to good use. So maybe this is a positive for them too. And let us know in the comments if you have that outlook. If you can look at this negative thing that's, taking away your income and turn it into the positive that it can be, because now you get the opportunity to get out of that same mundane routine, that 9 to 5 that was putting limits on you, and you get an opportunity to change direction and, and take a turn. So let us know how you're looking at it, and if you're, seeing it as a positive or negative.
I remember what I wanted. That's a really great way to look at things, Tanisha. The other thing I wanted to talk about was franchises. So PV Mart is essentially a franchise.
Hmm.
So, and my mom and dad, they bought a store. When did we do that? In the 80s. And it was called Stedman's. There's no more Stedman's anymore. It's like a variety store. But it was a franchise as well. So what the big deal is with a franchise is they give you the system, you bought it. McDonald's is a great example. That's a huge franchise. Um, but your franchise fees comes off the top before anything else. And oh, sorry, I got my Freddy with me. And if they need to change the storefront and do renovations, guess whose cost that is? That's your cost. And you don't get to say in it because they want it to be the same all across Canada. So PV Mart, you recognize a PV Mart anywhere, the big red sign and all the horse trailers parked in the parking lot. So that's what I wanted to say. Franchises can be great because you're walking into a system, but you're also controlled by that system.
Yeah. Yeah,
My
you don't
mom,
get that freedom to brand yourself.
no, my mom was telling me when they moved locations, Stedman's gave them the outlay of what their store will, like this aisle will have your makeup. This aisle will have your kitchenware. This aisle will have blah, blah, blah. Like they showed them how to lay out their store. Whereas when Kaylee moves locations, Kaylee is like a free for all. She can put whatever she wants anywhere because she's just it's her store, it's hers. And that's like with us, being independent brokers, we hang our license with a company, but we can open an office if we want to, any way we want it to look, or we can not have an office,
Hmm.
right? So we have so much freedom from that corporate head office type thing. I mean, of course, we have some
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and that's the great thing is you're right. We have that structure of the franchise, and we have that, consistency and compliance and all of that, but we still get to brand ourselves. We still get
yes,
to do it our way. So we don't have to represent in a way that we don't feel comfortable, right? Like with a McDonald's, it's cookie cutter. It doesn't matter if you like brown chairs, you're getting brown chairs.
exactly.
Whereas we get to brand and do our own thing and be independent as well as have that structure of the franchise. I love that. That's great.
And that's what I think I really enjoy about what we do is because it is we are the face of our own independent self. So we can
Mhm.
brand ourselves to a whole audience of people because people really at the end of the day they don't care how much you know, they really just care how much you care back to them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing missing out of our financial industry is unless like traditional industry, unless you got two, three, $400,000, they don't really care.
Hmm.
Yeah. What was that
Yeah.
one one of the agents last week, maybe I don't know if you were on that call, but the agent's helping a client and they're moving some money out of a bank or another firm, and they still had like 100,000 left, and they were basically told that client, well, since you're moving this money, you might as well move all the money because we don't want you as a client anymore.
What?
Yeah. I can't remember one of our other agents. I can't remember who it was specifically, but yeah,
The bank said that to the client?
it was a bank or another firm. I can't remember, but
Oh
regardless.
my gosh.
So that's the biggest thing. Like 9% are getting treated well, and the 91 percenters like us we're getting left behind.
Yeah. Yeah. 100% we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think what we're trying to say to you guys is this job security today is not like it was like, you know, I don't know if you have parents that are in their 70 or 80s, but they worked the same job for like 30, 40 years. No problem. And they got pensions and all of that. That's a thing of the past.
It is.
If we don't start stepping up and creating something for ourselves, what's going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Create something for yourself. And, to add to that, I was on a training call with the great Ed Milet
Oh,
2 years ago. And I'll never forget this call. I was actually traveling while I was on the call down to the island. And he said, with technology the way that it is, he says AI is going to take over a lot of jobs. He said, it's not going to be a what you know world anymore.
no.
It's going to be a personality driven world. How much
100%.
you care about people, how you practice your life, how you come across. It's going to be a personality driven place. So the best thing you can do for yourself is start something for yourself. Make sure you're caring and you show your empathy. Don't be cold and closed off and do your personal development so that you can become the best version of yourself because all of the knowledge is going to be obsolete because you're not going to need it because there's going to be a way to obtain it like that.
Yeah. That's the biggest one too, is like being of service to others.
Thank you. That's what the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be of service to others. And that's, one of the things that drew me into what we do is because first of all, I'm like, I can educate my own family on stuff that is not being educated out there. So that was, oh my gosh, I can set my kids up for a better future. I can create a business and go out and help other families. Um, and bring service and value to them,
Hmm.
right? So what, at the end of the day, everybody needs to pay their bills, right? You're in the highest paid industry. I won't tell you the other highest paid industry because I don't know if they've legalized it or not, but it involves a street corner. But the only way that Tanisha and I get paid is if we sit down and help a client, and those clients don't pay us. It's the companies that compensate us for doing the right thing, and that's the key thing. You got to do the right thing.
Hmm.
So it's just, it's no different than being a realtor. A realtor is out there doing the right thing for their client. Mortgage brokers, same thing, get their clients into their best mortgages. But sometimes shit hits the wall, and maybe that person wasn't doing the best thing for their client. And that does unfortunately happen in our industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so it's really important that, you know, you look at who you're going to associate with and what their values. And I think we talked about that already on a podcast. But the point is, what Tanisha and I are trying to say to everybody is, do you have a plan B? And does that, like what you're doing or whatever, is that going to get you to where you need to go financially? Is that going to get you to your
Mm-hmm.
goals and dreams? Is that going to help your family? Right? Because obviously, plan A, which is go to school, get an education, and then get a job, obviously might not be the best way to go. I think everybody needs a side hustle. And I think I don't know if it's CNN or CP Rail, but they're talking going on strike again.
Mm-hmm.
And then this tariff thing that's coming in, now the
Yep.
government's like, oh, that's okay. We're just going to print more money. And how did that work out for everybody CERB that got dinged to have to pay that back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What we really need to look at is, do we have the horsepower to get where we need to go and where we want to go? It's not about need, it's about want and desire. And second, are we using our talents to the best that we can? Do we have the freedom to live our lives the way we want to live our lives? And are we in something that's secure?
Yeah.
These are the questions, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So deep thoughts. Do you know just something that people need to sit down and take a look at? Like, man, I just see so many people on our Facebook groups and etc. and they can't find a job.
They can't.
But
No.
at the same time, they're not open to becoming entrepreneurial because they need that instant, right? They need it today. I get that. Yeah, you got to pay your bills. But why not while you're out working, to pay the bills? Why not learn a new skill so you can create something better for your family future?
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Actually, that's something I remember. I think it was actually you that taught me this, but this is a perfect opportunity to build what's called a twin career. Maybe
yes,
you love what you're doing. Maybe you are in an amazing job secure industry. Maybe you've got what you need, but it doesn't quite have the horsepower to get you financially where you want to be. Well, this is a great way to learn financial education, build an extra income, create that freedom and financial stability that you need to get to where you're going.
yeah,
And it's a great thing to add on the side because it does have that security to go along with what you already have.
yeah. And it's one way I put it too. I'm like, hey, Tanisha, do you have a driver's license?
Hmm.
Right? And do you use that driver's license to get you to from A to B?
Yep.
Everybody should have a life license. What that means is the ability to connect people to proper life insurances, proper investments, and that drives them from A to B. You got it in your back
Yeah.
pocket. You get pulled over, you can pull your license out and go, yeah, I'm licensed to do this, just like my driver's license.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Love that. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean it's a big topic, everything closing, hey?
yeah.
It's
It's
hurting a
huge.
lot of families. But like I said, it's an opportunity to take a turn. It's an opportunity to use your talents and your skills for more. And for those that it hasn't affected in the way that it's, it hasn't directly affected their career, well, this is an opportunity for a twin career.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And I don't know. It's crazy because what I love about what we do is we have no discrimination. We take people from all different industries because
Mhm.
the main thing is, are you a good person? Do you enjoy helping others? Do you enjoy wanting to do better for your family? We can teach you all the other skills. That's just a taught thing. That's like
Yes.
easy.
It is. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
easily learned. Yeah.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
it's not as intimidating as people think either. And you don't have to math well.
yeah.
You
Oh
know,
my
like
God. I'm
that's
terrible.
the thing is it was intimidating at first. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing?" And the minute I was in it and I had the support, I had the the face-to-face instruction and the book and the all of that, it was like, "Oh, well, actually, this is not as intimidating as I thought." It's like going to a grocery store and learning how to do the till,
Yeah.
you know? You freak out about it for 5 minutes. How am I gonna scan and how am I gonna put the codes in? But then after one shift, you're like, "Oh, well, that actually wasn't that
You
hard. I
got
just
this.
go beep, beep."
Yeah. Right? Yeah. The only thing that that we can't teach is being, putting people first. And we can't teach people to be, you know, their personality and all that. I mean, like, you can go and learn to be a better person by doing personal growth. But the biggest thing is, that the stuff I laid out and the skills
Mhm.
to do the position is not rocket science. It's just like, so you had to learn how to drive a car. We had to learn how to pedal a bike. We had to learn how to
Yeah,
walk.
yeah,
So it's just another skill. And how awesome would that be to have a skill in your back pocket that you could pull out at a minute's notice to help somebody?
mhm.
So, but yeah, that's what I had today, Tanisha. My heart goes out to all these closures, and I'm sure this is not the end of it. I mean, Epicure was huge. Um, just thinking like there's so many of those MLMs. Is that going to be a thing now?
Yeah, it's my heart goes out to everybody too. Um, and yeah, Epicure was huge. I mean, like I said, I actually enjoyed their products.
Me
I
too.
still have products on my shelf. I chose not to be um affiliated, but I did purchase their products because they were good products. So for a company with such great products and honestly not a terrible compensation model either, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh, because I did look at it, for them to go down, it's eye-opening.
And that's something to think about too. Um, Everybody is, if your neighbor's selling Pampered Chef or Arbonne or blah, 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 whatever, you know what? They're doing it to make something different in their life and to help their family and support them. It's just
Yeah, I
like,
know.
it's like,
Why go to
hey,
Walmart and
everybody.
buy a flipper when you can buy a quality flipper from your neighbor? Like
Exactly.
do it. Share community wealth, help
Yeah.
your friends out. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Tanisha, I could keep going on and on and on, but
Yeah, this could be an hour or two long episode,
yeah,
but we better get it off for our listeners.
yeah,
You're right. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. We also have this up on YouTube. You can reach out to us on any of our social media platforms. Um, my name is Tanisha Tearing, Charlene Reedman. You can look us up anywhere. We're there. And just such a pleasure speaking with you guys. And as always, put it in the comments. We'd like to hear from you.
exactly. And we would just appreciate, like we just want to be real with you and love your real feedback to us. And yeah, we'll see you guys all next week.
Yes. Bye for now.
Bye.